My God, it's full of tech news. Although Google Chrome is by far the most popular web browser, it's not known for being particularly power efficient. But that may start to change soon, as Google engineers have stuck a feature in Chrome version 86 to increase battery life on mobile devices by 28%. David, that's a lot of percent.
But what about RAM?
And this applies across platforms, whether you're on Windows, Linux, Mac, iOS, or Android. As long as those are mobile devices, I guess. They pull off this improvement by cutting down on unnecessary JavaScript background usage that can really drain your battery. The savings appear to be most prominent when you have lots of tabs open. And if you know me, and you're a human, you have lots of tabs open. Indeed, during one test, Google left 36 background tabs open and saved a whole 2 hours of battery life. However, keep in mind the feature is experimental and may not make it into the next version of Chrome, so don't be too quick to yank that power cord just yet. Guess we're talking about laptops mostly here, hey?
Yeah.
You don't really have that many Chrome tabs open on your phone, do you? A lot has been made out of the powerful hardware under the hood of Microsoft's upcoming Xbox Series X. But what kind of games can we actually expect for it? Because if the games suck, then mommy will have to buy me one of the other consoles. Okay, we won't have to wait too much longer to find out, as the company will unveil a bunch of first-party titles for the console on July 23rd at Summer Game Fest. There's no S, it always trips me up. Halo Infinite, a reboot of the popular series, is widely expected to be among the games announced, and we might see more games in the Fable, Gears of War, and Forza franchises as well. Although this isn't the first Microsoft event dedicated to titles for the Series X, this is the first one primarily dealing with Microsoft's own titles, as what we've seen so far are mostly third-party non-exclusives. So nice to see Microsoft Gaming is still doing well. Rest in peace, Mixer. And speaking of Microsoft Gaming, an interesting bit of kit for Microsoft's upcoming xCloud streaming service was just announced. The SN30 Pro gamepad has appeared on Amazon. It's a Bluetooth game controller designed for Android smartphones. It's from 8BitDo, the company known for updated version of retro controllers for systems like the SNES. Man, there's so many tomatoes here. The controller is supposed to have an 18-hour battery life and also features a smartphone clip and remappable buttons. It's quite similar to their existing SF30 Pro, though the new model will have Microsoft branding to make it more like an Xbox controller. They should make one of those retro, fat controllers. No one will buy that. It'll be out on September 21st, just 4 days before my birthday, and they're taking pre-orders now if the pandemic has you desperate to spend your money on something. And again, my birthday is also at that time, so Venmo me. Now it's time for the sponsors, brought to you by the Quick Bits. What? Private Internet Access lets you mask your IP and encrypt your traffic. PIA offers over 3,200 servers in 48 countries and no bandwidth caps. It has configurable encryption levels and a kill switch to keep you in control. And when combined with private browsing, it can make websites think you're in a different country, mister. You can connect up to 5 devices at once, whether they be Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, or even Linux if you're one of those weirdos. And PIA's Mace feature blocks malware and tracking domains. Try it at the link below with a 30-day money-back guarantees. If you occasionally travel on intercontinental flights, chances are you've flown on an iconic Boeing 747 at some point. But not this year. But it looks like the jumbo jet's days may be numbered, as reports indicate that Boeing will cease production in 2 years in favor of smaller, more efficient long-range planes, such as the 787. Walking up those stairs on the plane made me feel like a real VIP. So even if I was just climbing up to coach, I like the small ones. There's about to be less competition in the food delivery space, as Uber is reportedly buying Postmates in a deal worth about $2.65 billion. A lot of money for companies that don't actually make profit. Uber is trying to be more competitive against DoorDash, so I understand the move, but I also, it seems like they'll have less incentive to lower their outrageous delivery fees, so I worry about the small business owner. Microsoft has teamed up with tire giant Bridgestone to roll out Tire Damage Monitoring System. It'll be able to detect real-time physical damage to a car's tires using algorithms, and also tell what spot on the tire is in need of attention, because tire damage is the leading cause of accidents caused by mechanical failures. Alerting drivers to tire issues as they pop up could significantly improve safety. Of course, not handing driver's licenses out like candy would be a great idea too. That sounds pretty opinionated, John. Isolation during the pandemic has caused many of us to turn to gaming to pass the time. How much time? Well, console sales are up significantly across the board, but the Nintendo Switch in particular has more than doubled in its sales in the first half of 2020 compared to the same period last year. Weird, given that that's the only portable one, and I'm not going anywhere. And Twitter has seemingly confirmed users won't be getting an often requested feature anytime soon, if ever. The platform tweeted out a message on its own account saying, "You can have an edit button when everyone wears a mask." Some users appreciated Twitter's stance, others saw it as antagonistic. But the whole thing makes me wonder if it's just easier not to tweet at all. That's our show for today. Come back on Wednesday for more, and we won't ask you to put on a mask before watching. As long as you're watching completely alone in your house, no strangers around, and you don't touch your face.